now return to Crashes on Modern Marvels. There are over 6 million motorcycles on the road in the United States. 100,000 riders are involved in crashes each year, and 5,000 of those are fatal.
I'd say it's risky. Statistics would show it's about maybe 25 to 30 times more dangerous, if you want to use that word, than car driving.
Deadly motorcycle crashes doubled in the last 10 years, and the numbers continue to rise due to motorcycle-automobile collisions.
3/4 of the crashes occur at intersections in a motorcycle-car crash, and 2/3 of that time it was a car driver violating the right-of-way of the motorcyclist. If it's an intersection crash, the car driver usually doesn't see the motorcyclist.
Understanding the mechanics of motorcycle crashes is the business of exponent failure analysis.
In general, we hope to learn specifics about how a vehicle performs in a crash, both how it crushes, how it absorbs energy, how it cushions the occupants and protects them in the crash, and also how the occupants perform.
We do this for insurance carriers, motorcycle manufacturers, and then we do a lot of litigation-related work.
Exponent Failure Analysis conducts crash tests at its 147-acre research facility in Phoenix, Arizona.
Today we're going to be testing some motorcycle impact mechanics, a motorcycle hitting a passenger vehicle.
The motorcycle in this test will be going down the rail at approximately 30 miles an hour, and we've got a car that's going to be coming across from our 90-degree road. It's going to be coming in at 15 miles an hour.
A half-mile-long wire cable accelerates the vehicles to impact speed.
We're in the engine room where we have 2 large block Ford V8 engines in series to drive the cables that move the cars for the crash test. That drives the cable systems. The 2 cable systems are interlocked by 2 heavy truck transmissions that give us about 100 different gear ratios for controlling the relative speeds of the 2 vehicles that hit each other.
The Exponent team painstakingly prepares the car, the motorcycle, crash test dummy, and the 7 cameras that will record the impact.
This is the onboard dolly camera, which will be traveling down with the motorcycle, and I have to set the aperture and make sure that it's set for the 500 frames a second that we'll be recording it at.
Photo, you guys ready?
You shoot from the side to get the pitch motion of the motorcycle.
The boom's going up.
You shoot from the top so you can study how much it rotates on impact. And then you shoot from the front so you can study where the occupant comes over the back.
Hector, you ready?
Final countdown.
Roll out, she's all yours.
Throttle up.
15 feet before impact, the vehicles are released from the cable and hurtle towards one another with their own momentum.
Perfect.
Good hit. See how the dummy came off? Yep.
It's all over in the blink of an eye, but the high-speed cameras reveal much more.
The initial contact with the car, what happens is the front tire starts to engage the car. At that point, the forks start to rotate, and once you hit the steering limit, that's where you get some twist in the forks. And at the same time, the bike is still coming in, compressing the forks against the car, and that's where everything gets folded back. You've got solid contact.
Exponent's researchers survey the wreckage.
So the front wheel impacts here in the door, bike spins around, the axle's hitting right here, or the forks. Dummy hits up here.
Then you can see the same damage. You can see on the front of the helmet where the dummy's helmet came into contact with the car. Right here.
We've got a central strike here from the dummy's pelvis, denting in the tank. And the bike also rotated out from under the dummy, so he also has a strike on the one side of the bike. As the side of the bike presented itself, his pelvis continued and dented in here. We'll be able to see that better on the high-speed video.
The 500 frames per second video slows the action by more than 16 times.
As the wheel engages, the bike slows down rapidly and the motorcyclist keeps going at the same speed. The rider's pelvis comes into contact with the tank, and then right after that we get a glancing head contact or helmet contact with the rear corner of the vehicle. Probably would not have caused any significant head injury. But I wouldn't sell this short. There is injury potential here because of that pelvic.
In addition to the video evidence, Christine will consult the data from dozens of sensors mounted on the dummy.
He's built with lots of instrumentation built in his head, his neck, his chest, his leg, as we see here, to measure the forces in the accident and tell us whether an injury may have occurred in that accident. This is the chest cavity and the rib cage of the dummy. We've removed the front structure or sternum, so you can see there's a computer or data acquisition system that's been installed inside. And that allows the dummy to be free-flying and not be tethered to a computer on the ground and still measure data from lots of sensors.
Data recorded by these sensors in this crash will allow Exponent to recreate the physical crash test in the lab.
We're going to take the dummy we used in the crash test with the car, put it on this bike, which is tethered to the sled system here. So the idea here is to replicate the motion and the impact forces that the motorcycle saw hitting the car here on the sled, so that we can study how the motorcycle works over and over again without breaking motorcycles all the time.
The 9,000-pound sled will accelerate up to 30 miles per hour in 150 feet. Filming the event with high-speed cameras requires 300 kilowatts of light, enough electricity to power 100 average homes. The Exponent team launches the sled.
3, 2, 1, fire.
The slow-motion cameras revealed that the replication of the crash test was a success.
What we're seeing in the sled test is the sled stopping as if it was hitting the car, the motorcycle moving in the same manner as if it hit the car, and the dummy coming off of the motorcycle in the same manner. We just take a motorcycle on a sled, run it over and over again, looking at different components, only consuming one motorcycle, not dozens of them.
Crash tests helped researchers adapt one of the car industry's most successful safety technologies to motorcycles, the airbag. Honda has developed a fuel tank-mounted airbag for its Goldwing model that takes just 0.15 seconds to deploy. Upon impact, sensors in the front fork detect a velocity change. Nitrogen gas releases into the airbag, which absorbs the forward energy of the rider, reducing injuries. If an airbag on your bike isn't enough, how about an airbag jacket? When a rider is thrown from a cycle, a sensor activates a CO2 cartridge, inflating the jacket to provide neck and upper body protection. Several brands of airbag jackets are already on the market. Other safety breakthroughs, like riding trainers, allow motorcyclists to gain defensive driving experience without even venturing on the road.
Turn left at the next traffic light.
Functions just like a basic motorcycle. You have a clutch that operates, mirrors, throttle, brake, and your gear shifter. It gives you realistic situations. Things do pop out at you. You really have to be a defensive rider on a motorcycle. And you have to always be aware of your surroundings.
Considering the rider's vulnerability, motorcycle experts agree that one safety factor is more important than all others.
I would say that the helmet is the most important, and that's because I think the brain is the most important part of your body. Inside the helmet, we have energy-absorbing material, like a foam, as well as a abrasion-resistant surface that goes over that. And this energy-absorbing material will crush when the head impacts a hard surface, and that will absorb energy and reduce the acceleration that is seen by the skull and the brain inside.
Basic things you want to look for in a helmet is you want to make sure that they have minimum DOT approval, which is Department of Transportation. Next thing you want to look for is Snell approval, which is an impact rating.
To receive a certification from the not-for-profit Snell Memorial Foundation, helmets undergo a rigorous battery of tests, including impact resistance, face shield strength, and chin guard deflection.
It's the most important safety item you could wear. It comes down to how valuable is your head.
Even at modest speeds, the impact of a motorcycle collision can be devastating. Now, imagine a skydiver on a crash course with solid ground after experiencing parachute failure. Amazingly, some have lived to tell their tale. Motorcyclists over 40 represent half of all U.S. riders and also half of all cycle crash fatalities. Crashes will return on Modern Marvels.